Good day, folks. Thank you for joining us here at Your Health. On today's program, we'd like to discuss controlling chronic yeast and intestinal dysbiosis with the herb rotation cycle. Now, if you've been watching this program over the years, you've come to learn about how your intestinal flora can become out of balance. And you've also been exposed to all the research, hundreds of research projects now, that tell us intestinal dysbiosis and chronic yeast problems can lead to most of the health problems we have today, the chronic degenerative processes that we all suffer from today. The key here is, how do we fix this? How do we get the bowel flora back in alignment and keep this yeast in check? Well, that's what we want to talk about. This is a very practical program today, and one I'm sure that you can use to your advantage and to improve your health. That's our program. But first, let's go to the news. Let's see what's happening in the health world. Irritable bowel syndrome may be caused by bacterial overgrowth in the small intestines. Researchers from two different institutions discovered a third of IBS patients have an abnormal growth of bacteria in their small intestines. In a study of 320 patients with IBS, scientists showed the typical patient's intestinal tract has a greater number of different bacterial species. A second study found that food poisoning or gastroenteritis may account for the majority of cases of small intestinal bacterial overgrowth that leads to IBS. The trend is especially apparent in those who are at high risk of food poisoning, such as military personnel or world travelers. Folks, the results of these studies truly represent a medical breakthrough. It has long been held by the status quo that irritable bowel syndrome is but a psychosomatic or nervous system disorder. And this implies that if the patient could only control their emotions, their symptoms of abdominal pain, irregularity, and food intolerances would quickly resolve. These discoveries prove the misguided assumptions are false. IBS is most likely the result of infectious gastroenteritis interacting with the patient's unique genetics that ultimately results in profound intestinal dysbiosis. And that's important. These newly discovered IBS facts may lead to real cures for those who are suffering. Garlic may be the most potent and fast-acting antioxidant. New research from Canada has discovered the mechanism by which garlic and other members of the Alliaceae family of vegetables provide their antioxidant benefits. The researchers found garlic's sulfur-containing compound allicin is degraded into sulfenic acid, which acts as a potent and remarkably fast antioxidant. Related research from King's College London has found people who consume large amounts of garlic, shallots, or onions have lower rates of osteoarthritis. They also discovered a compound in garlic named diallyl disulfide inhibits the activity of a key enzyme in joints that acts to break down cartilage, thus initiating osteoarthritis. Further research from India has discovered adding garlic or onions to cereal grains increases the absorption of these essential minerals. The researchers hope the discovery will help alleviate mineral deficiencies. 1/3 of the world's population is deficient in both iron and zinc. Well, the garlic researchers have certainly been very busy, haven't they, folks? Let's repeat the key findings. Until recently, scientists have been puzzled by how garlic and other members of the Alliaceae family of vegetables provide powerful antioxidant properties. The scientists from Canada found garlic's allicin is converted to sulfenic acid, which then acts as a powerful antioxidant that counters free radicals faster than any other known antioxidant. The next study found that garlic contains a substance that inhibits the breakdown of joint cartilage, which slows or even prevents osteoarthritis. The team from India found if garlic or onions are added to cereal grains, it increases the absorption of critical minerals by as much as 7-fold. All of these findings help us to understand why garlic is so helpful for those with arthritis and other degenerative health conditions. My advice to you is add garlic, onions, shallots, and other members of the Alliaceae family of vegetables to your diet and supplement list. Well, today on Your Health, we'd like to discuss the measures available to help control intestinal dysbiosis and chronic yeast conditions. We'll also discuss the herb rotation cycle, what it contains, and how to best use it. We'll be right back. Is your life out of balance? It may be. The average American consumes far too many omega-6s and not enough omega-3s. This creates an imbalance.
So what can we do to get back in balance? We can eat a healthy diet.
And most of us need to supplement with omega-3 rich fish oil. Fish oil contains omega-3s with DHA and EPA, fatty acids that promote good brain and heart health. So reduce omega-6 in your nutritional plan and boost omega-3 to get back in balance.
To help you do that, BioInnovations offers two products, the Fish Oil Complex and Omega 369, both formulated for your health and well-being. So how do you choose? For highest levels of DHA and EPA, choose the Fish Oil Complex. For a balanced formula, choose the 369. Give us a call at 888-442-2120 or go online at bioinnovations.net. Check out the AutoShip program for additional savings.
Pets make great companions, but did you know having a pet can improve your health? I'm Dr. Richard Becker with Your Health at a Glance. A pet can be your best friend and possibly a good medicine for your health. Studies have shown those who have a pet make fewer visits to the doctor while showing better readings in blood pressure, heart rate, and cholesterol. Pets boost self-esteem, prevent loneliness, and seem to lower stress levels for their owners. Assuring your pet's health depends upon a few simple rules. Make certain your pet has access to fresh water and shade. Feed your animals nutritious foods, but no table scraps. Be sure your pet gets plenty of exercise and stay up on their vaccinations. Animal vaccination recommendations have recently changed, so make sure your pet is current. Assuring your pet's health will benefit yours as well. With Your Health at a Glance, I'm Dr. Richard Becker. There are thousands of fungal species, and at least 200 of them have been found to cause human diseases.
Fungal infections are common, so what can we do to protect ourselves?
One solution is oregano, a natural alternative. Oregano fights problems created by fungus and yeast overgrowth, and it improves many other health conditions.
At BioInnovations, we offer oregano in gel caps and liquid extract.
Yeast and fungal disorders can improve.
So take charge of your health by choosing a natural alternative such as oregano gel caps or oil of oregano liquid extract. Give us a call at 888-442-2120 or go online at bioinnovations.net. Check out our AutoShip program for additional savings. Welcome back, everyone. It's such a blessing to be with you today. And pick up that phone and dial the number to call us because Dr. Becker wants to talk to you today and answer your health question. Well, today's show is going to be very interesting. Sit back, take notes. This one's really, I just love talking about these things because we learn new things every day. Today, Richard titled this show, Pearls for Chronic Yeast. And I thought, now, what did he mean by that? Well, you know how sometimes you suffer from a cold, or maybe you have allergies, or whatever your condition is, you just can't seem to get over it. You take medications, you go from doctor to doctor, but your health just doesn't return. Well, it could be that you're suffering from a chronic yeast problem in your intestines. That's why he calls it pearls for chronic yeast, little tidbits that could make a big difference in your life. Richard, a lot of times when we're studying these things, it's hard to make that connection between a chronic yeast problem and your intestinal health, but it's absolutely there.
You know, in the past, patients would come to the conclusion that they have dysbiosis or a chronic yeast problem because they've tried everything else and nothing works. It has been in the past a point of final destination. Nothing else works, so well, let's try a yeast program. Well, our understanding of the intestinal tract's microflora and dysbiosis and chronic yeast problems has greatly increased in the last 10 years. It's no longer an option of last resort. For most of us now, we should be going first to the concepts of intestinal dysbiosis. Dysbiosis is the missing link that explains, this is my opinion, but many are reflecting the same opinion. Dysbiosis is the missing link that explains the majority of our chronic illnesses today. You know, in the past we've always said, well, your genetics are off a little bit. But then the genetic studies have shown that everyone has a genetic predisposition to autoimmune disease. Everyone has a disposition to have an allergy. But something triggers that phenomena. Something triggers that cancer gene. And what we're learning is it's the change in bowel flora, the yeast and the mycotoxins and the bacteria that create toxins, okay? Intestinal dysbiosis has now been connected to a wide variety of diseases, including autoimmune diseases, heart attacks, cardiovascular disease. This is yeast syndrome, okay? Dysbiosis, altered bowel flora, cancer, arthritis, inflammatory bowel disease, depression, chronic depression. You know, there's more brain material, let's say nerve material, in the abdomen than there is in the brain. Okay?
Really?
If you're depressed, sure, there can be a problem in the brain, absolutely. But there is absolutely a problem in the gut. See, serotonin, there's more serotonin in the intestinal tract than there is in the brain. In fact, pediatricians call the abdomen an infant's first brain. But that's a whole nother subject. So depression, if you're having anxiety, depression, bipolar, look to the gut. Look to the gut, not just the brain, okay? ADHD, attention problems, hyperactivity, chronic fatigue, absolutely. Allergies and colds, as you mentioned, Cindy, asthma, obesity, diabetes, all of these have been intimately linked with dysbiosis and altered bowel flora. You may have intestinal dysbiosis and a chronic yeast syndrome with no obvious intestinal complaints. No obvious intestinal complaints. The majority do have an intestinal problem. They say, well, yeah, I've been irregular, I've this, that, and the other, I get some cramping. But you may have no symptoms, or they may be severe. Okay, it's very important that we can't just focus on how's my gut feel to make this conclusion and lead you to the appropriate treatment path. It is imperative that you take steps to correct your intestinal flora, or healing will not occur. I don't know any other clearer way to say it. You have to take these steps, okay? And it becomes obvious to us when we quickly review what the intestinal tract does to us. Having a healthy intestinal tract is vital to vital health. Got to have it. Digestion of nutrients, recycling of mucus and blood products, fermentation of food, manufacturing of vitamins. You know, we used to say B12 and K were the two that the intestinal flora can make. We know it goes way beyond that now. Niacin, thiamine, riboflavin, virtually every vitamin can be made by these intestinal tract bacteria. Not the minerals, that's a base element, but vitamins. The majority of them can be made. So, nutrient deficiencies. It's not necessarily just a bad diet, but it can be bowel flora changes. Pretty amazing. It's the immune barrier. 70% of your immune system is in and around that intestinal tract. So if you're having cold after cold, or cancer, or any of these immune defect, autoimmune type diseases, you have an intestinal dysbiosis chronic yeast problem in vast majority of cases. Waste elimination, okay? Detoxification of noxious elements. Feel tired, sluggish, headache all the time? Bowel flora, okay? The intestinal tract contains, on average, some 160 different organisms, but it can be, that 160 comes from a pool of some 3,000, okay? All right? 2 to 3 pounds of microbes in the intestinal tract of the typical adult. Half of the stool weight is living organisms, all right? There are more microbes in your gut than you have body cells. There's more DNA material in the gut than your body's cells have. This is just amazing. It is. So the facts are there. The critical and development of the immune system plays a role in maintaining ideal weight. The worldwide scientific community calls aberrations of the intestinal tract intestinal dysbiosis. That altered bacteria can be yeast. It can be any of these living organisms. Okay? What is intestinal dysbiosis? It's a condition of abnormal intestinal microbe growth creating toxic and carcinogenic substances, leads to disturbed digestion, malabsorption of nutrients, inflammation. Inflammation, inflammation, inflammation. That arthritis, you just feel hot and on fire, doesn't it? Just buzzes with inflammation. Everyone's taking drugs to calm the inflammation in the arthritic spot. What about the gut? What about the gut? Calm and soothe this, the gut, everything follows. This is what we're learning, okay? All right? What are your possible signs? What are your possible signs? You may have colds and repeat viral illnesses. These are signs that you need to address your intestinal dysbiosis. You may have weight gain, and that's more common than weight loss. Okay? We hear this all the time. We're a nation of those gaining weight. You may have constipation. You may have diarrhea. You may have IBS-type symptoms, gas, food intolerances, lactose intolerance, or you may feel like you're normal for you. It can be a wide diversity of symptoms. Fatigue. The food you just ate should not be making you tired. Food provides energy. Food is the source of the explosion of carbohydrates that occurs in our bodies that we harness and create energy out of it. It should not make you tired. If food is making you tired, I promise you, we need to fix your intestinal flora, all right? Headaches, body pain, yeast infections, do you have skin infections, athlete's foot, fungal toenails? Do you get a red, itchy rash under the folds of your skin? Okay, diabetics, this is very common in diabetes. If the skin microbes are altered, I assure you the bowel flora is altered, because the bowel flora outnumbers skin flora 1,000 to 1. It sets the tone, the bowel flora does. These are possible signs that you may have dysbiosis and chronic yeast. Do you have an autoimmune disease, cancer, or even heart disease? These are all known situations that these are examples of symptoms caused by dysbiosis, all right? Now, I think it's important that we quickly understand what leads to dysbiosis, okay? You cannot escape these things. It's part of the modern world that we live in today. Malnourishment, up to 80% of all Americans eat no raw foods. 75% have a deficiency in at least one nutrient, okay? Chlorinated and fluoridated water. Now that keeps us from getting waterborne illnesses, but it also kills our gut flora. It has a profound effect. The halogens, chlorine and fluoride, they're both of the halogen group on the periodic chart. These molecules, these compounds, these elements, quickly react with any organic substance, changing the nature of that organic compound. Okay? So it attaches to that bacteria or fungi or septic contaminant and denatures it and kills it. That's to protect your health. But when we're swallowing this chlorinated water, it is affecting our bowel flora. Make sense? It should, because that's what's happening to us. Obesity causes bowel flora changes. Diabetes causes bowel flora changes. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease causes bowel flora changes. Antibiotic use. University of Michigan, 1 round of antibiotics caused dysbiosis that did not correct itself. Big study. Okay? Have you had 1 round of antibiotics in your life? Who amongst us haven't? Okay? Pain medicine, anti-inflammatory medicine, hormone replacement therapy, birth control pills, steroids, all of these types of medicines can cause dysbiosis. Poor eating habits, low fiber diet, stress, who doesn't have stress, getting older, that's your reward for enduring, is profound bowel flora changes. Travel, well, who hasn't had tourista when you travel? This is common. That can initiate this whole process. Weakened immune system, okay? Maybe you're a cancer patient. Maybe you're born with an enterotype susceptible to disease. Let me explain that before we go to break. Enterotype is your own unique makeup of bowel flora that leaves you susceptible. You're born with it, but you're susceptible to disease. Abnormal bowel flora from birth or contracted by close contact. You see, babies inherit mother's bowel flora. This has been shown. This is proven. You may have been this way your whole life. You don't know what normal is. See, that's the point of that. Now, 7 years, 900 TV programs, we've been discussing this. And it finally dawned on me that I've not been very clear and informative on how to manage this problem. Okay? When we return from these important messages, we're going to give you the pearls that will draw your health back to vibrancy once again. We'll be right back. For thousands of years, Eastern health practitioners have used mushrooms for a variety of treatments.
And recently, scientists everywhere in the world have turned to mushrooms in search of health-promoting compounds.
These are known as medicinal mushrooms. Among some of the most potent are ABM, maitake, reishi, shiitake, and Cordyceps sinensis.
At BioInnovations, we've made available 4 of the most powerful mushrooms in one easy-to-use formula. We call it the Mushroom Complex. We also offer the amazing mushroom Cordyceps sinensis in a standalone formula.
Cordyceps helps boost energy, an amazing discovery now used in both Eastern and Western medicine. So take advantage of thousands of years of health knowledge.
Give us a call at 888-442-2120 or go online at bioinnovations.net. Check out the AutoShip program for additional savings.
You would probably never starve yourself of food, but are you starving yourself of water? I'm Dr. Richard Becker with Your Health at a Glance. Many are only reminded to drink water when the weather is hot or when they exercise, thinking if they're not thirsty, they do not need to drink. By the time the body cries out in thirst, you are already dehydrated. Proper hydration promotes circulation, helps control body temperature while assuring your body's chemical processes work properly. Even short periods of time spent dehydrated compromises health. The easiest way to determine what your daily water intake should be is to divide your weight in half. That number is the number of ounces of pure water you should drink every day. Make a practice of drinking more water so that you can experience the wonder of vital health. With Your Health at a Glance, I'm Dr. Richard Becker.
Do you believe that nature holds the answer to your health needs? Are you looking for a supplement that's simple and pure, yet really works?
If you're looking for nature's answer to better health, look to Aloha Noni Juice. It's pure and fresh, just like nature intended. Aloha Noni Juice is brought to you direct from the islands of Polynesia.
Aloha Noni Juice is 100% pure with no added sugar or sweet fruit fillers. It's the perfect addition to your low-sugar diet.
Aloha Noni Juice drinkers will tell you their vitality, energy, and sense of well-being have improved, along with relief from many painful conditions. Made by nature, proven by science, Aloha Noni Juice contains only nature's best.
And now you can enjoy the benefits of our new 100% certified organic Noni Juice.
Order online or call 888-442-2120 and let BioInnovations assist you in making the right choices to better health. Ask about the AutoShip program for additional savings.
We're back, everyone, talking about pearls for chronic yeast control. Now, Richard, this is really interesting, and this is the part of the show we've all been waiting for because we want to know how to fix this problem once and for all.
Yes.
And we always say what? We start with the diet.
We absolutely
So
start
let's
with
go
diet.
through that first,
Yes.
shall we?
We're talking about the healing diet, and all of this is discussed in great length in Foundations for Healing, okay? And that is available for you because you need a written form of this. You need a guidepost to lead you through this change that you'll be embarking on. Diet is the primary treatment of intestinal dysbiosis and chronic yeast. You have to prepare more of your own foods. Why? Because it puts you in control. You know exactly what's in that dish, okay? That way you cannot add sugars. For one thing, no added sugar to your diet. And be very careful with sweet foods, meaning don't eat them, particularly high fructose corn syrup. High fructose corn syrup is metabolized differently than other sugars. It stresses the liver, okay? It leads to high blood sugars. It is a real problem on our bodies. And it is not helping you with your chronic yeast condition. High fructose corn syrup is to be avoided at all costs, okay? No sweet fruits. Now, many of these foods that I'm telling you to avoid to control your chronic yeast problem are considered healthy foods, but they're not so healthy for you because they're too sweet or they promote yeast growth in the intestinal tract. For example, what about beer? Now, that's not necessarily healthy food, I don't mean that, but it has a live yeast culture in many of the beers. What about cheeses? Now, that's a dairy product, and everybody wants dairy products in their diet, but that's a live bacterial or yeast culture in hard cheeses in particular, okay? That gets in your intestinal tract. It's going to proliferate because your immune system has been suppressed. It can make you feel bad, okay? Everyone has had a meal that doesn't set right, of course, okay? Food intolerances are very common with yeast syndrome, all right? And cheeses, particularly the hard cheeses, are among the most likely. Bread with active yeast, that can cause an exaggeration of your yeast syndrome, okay? Avoid the starchy vegetables like potatoes. Now, we're going to advance out of this diet eventually. We're trying to deprive the gut flora of carbohydrates, sweet-type foods, so that they do not proliferate and release toxins into your system, okay? If the normal bowel flora is given food, it will proliferate and suppress the growth of the bad ones. But we can't be giving it junk food, sweets, and refined foods. It's the facts of life, folks. Now, you may internally debate this and find a way to talk yourself out of it, but you're going to be stuck in poor health. You have to cut the sweets down. The average American consumes, 130 pounds of sugar a year now? It's unbelievable. You cannot be healthy doing that. So we have to take steps. And it's a bit of a shock to make these changes. All right? Eat a variety of raw fruits, a variety of raw vegetables. In other words, make a nice big salad every day. We've been having a lot of salads lately, and I certainly enjoy them. My digestion improves when I have a regular salad. How about you, honey?
I just love salad.
Yeah.
You know, to me, I like to make a meal out of it. Just
Yes.
a great big salad, and then we'll put our protein on top.
Yes.
That way, you get what everyone likes, you know?
You know, you can put a little apple cider vinegar on that as your vinegar source, and you have a probiotic plus an anti-yeast aid. So make your raw fruit and salad, fruit and vegetable salads, okay? And be careful with sweet toppings and cheesy dressings, okay? Blue cheese is not what you want if you have the yeast syndrome, all right? Eat fermented dairy as tolerated. I'm talking of the yogurt, sour cream, kefir, cottage cheese, this type of thing. Soft white cheeses are better tolerated than the hard cheeses. The soft white cheeses, like mozzarella, have a bacterial culture that is friendly to you. Hard cheeses are a yeast culture that aren't so friendly to you. Okay? That's the difference. Be careful with foods that promote the growth of yeast. We mentioned that, but like melons and pineapple, the sweet things, they tend to cause proliferation of yeast, all right? If you are intolerant of dairy and you are unable to consume larger amounts of yogurt and cottage cheese as a probiotic food, you must rely on probiotic supplements. Now, probiotic supplements derive their bacteria from fermented dairy, but it's extracted, so there's no dairy in it, all right? So if you're allergic to milk or have a problem with milk, you can still use a probiotic because it's extracted out. There's no dairy left in it. If you are extraordinarily sensitive and react vehemently to milk, you may want to avoid that. But we've never had any problems with that. For people who react to milk, they can take the probiotics, okay? Now, consider following an elimination diet. These are the food intolerances that are so common with intestinal dysbiosis. See what happens, folks. With dysbiosis, the bowel flora makes inroads into the intestinal wall. Okay? This leaves a pore where complex food particles can gain entrance directly into the bloodstream, undigested proteinaceous food particles. This triggers an immune reaction in the bloodstream. Okay? People with chronic yeast and dysbiosis have food intolerances and food allergies. This is very common. How do you know what they are? If you have 4 or 5 or 6 different foods you're reacting to, you constantly have a food in your system that you're reacting to, and it's very hard to tell, especially when you consider the reaction can occur up to 2 days after you ate them, okay? Depending on your unique makeup. An elimination diet allows you to identify these foods you're sensitive to, and you will feel better very much faster, okay? How do we do that? Take 3 basic foods, a protein, a vegetable, a starch, with salt only. That's all you eat for 3 to 5 days. Those 3 basic foods. On the 6th day or the 4th day, you need to go 4 or 5 days with just those 3 foods. Then you add 1 more new basic food. Give it a few days. 1 more basic food. And eventually you'll add the food that you're reacting to, say chicken eggs, whatever, okay? And you will feel bad. And it will hit you like a ton of bricks. And you say, no more of that for me. I feel better without it, okay? Elimination diet. You can also be tested for these. The doctor will assess antibodies in your bloodstream from a panel of foods. That's a quick but more expensive way to find out what foods you're sensitive to. As you begin to feel better, then you go into the transitional diet, okay? The transitional diet allows you complex carbohydrates from whole foods, like a whole grain tortilla. Still no yeast, But we transition into the next phase. And then as your pattern of wellness persists in the transitional diet, you go on to the diet for the rest of your life. And I do have to pause for a moment here and help you understand you may be in this diet change for the rest of your life. But it is usually not a problem because the patient feels so much better that they're willing to accommodate a new diet in order to continue to feel well. Most find it's worthwhile. And it doesn't take long slipping back to the old way where they find my health is eroding yet again. I'm staying with that diet and I'm sticking with it until the second coming, because I feel so much better with this new way of approaching things that it's worth the effort to me. Now, that's the diet approach. And of course, it's in Foundations for Healing. When we return from these important messages, I want to talk about the dietary supplements, the herbs, nutritional supplements that we use to help suppress yeast and bacteria growth so that we can recolonize. We'll be right back. Hello, I'm Dr. Richard Becker.
And I'm Cindy Becker.
As a physician and cancer survivor, it is clear to me that standard medical therapies are not enough. We need more.
That's why we created our television program, to give you natural health solutions that really can improve your life.
And now we're offering another way to learn about your health by subscribing to our new monthly newsletter.
Every month you'll receive critical information about preventing disease, your diet, healthy recipes, holistic therapies, and alternatives to prescription pills. Each edition addresses personal issues that may keep you from getting well.
Each month I share with you the latest research found in scientific journals about diabetes, arthritis, heart disease, and other common problems.
With your new 12-month subscription, you'll get 3 additional months free. Become a subscriber today by calling 888-442-2120
or order online at bioinnovations.net for the best prices of the year.
Do you have throbbing headaches that bring on a sense of apprehension and stress? I'm Dr. Richard Becker with Your Health at a Glance. Perhaps your headaches are a sign of high blood pressure or what doctors call hypertension. You may even have hypertension with no symptoms at all. Checking your blood pressure is easy and an important tool in determining your health. A blood pressure diary is a reliable way to diagnose hypertension. You can purchase a blood pressure cuff at most local pharmacies. Check your pressure 2 to 3 times a day and record it for 1 week. If your readings are consistently above 130/85, you may have hypertension and you should see a doctor. Most with hypertension respond favorably to salt restriction, exercise, increased water intake, and the loss of a few pounds. Doing your part lessens the need for medication and increases your likelihood of a long, healthy life. I'm Dr. Richard Becker with Your Health at a Glance. Can you lower your risk of disease? The answer is yes. One way is by including fruit in your diet. Fruit contains valuable nutrients that can reduce the risk of heart disease, stroke, and even some cancers.
We've searched the world and found 4 fruits we believe are among the best. Noni from Polynesia, acai from the Amazon, and 2 new ones, goji and mangosteen.
These 4 juices each have amazing properties that make them great additions to your nutritional plan. If you're a diabetic or have chronic pain, these juices will help you feel better and have more energy. Plus, they help with digestion.
Now you can experience the health-promoting benefits of all 4 in one convenient package we call the Fruits of the World 4-Pack. And remember, it's 50% off by the case. Give us a call at 888-442-2120 or go online at bioinnovations.net.
We're back, everyone. Okay, Richard, to talk about a supplement plan and to develop one that's unique to us because everyone is different.
Right.
What supplement would we want to start with? Let's go through those few things at first that everyone should do.
You know, that's a very good point. I attended a lecture recently that compared, the discussion was comparing the nutrient quality of the diet in 1950 with the nutrient quality of the diet of 2010. 2011, current times, okay? We are ingesting food with as little as 1/10 of the nutrient content of just 60 years ago. Wow. Okay? There is no wonder why now 70 to 80% of all Americans are deficient in at least one nutrient, okay? If you're sick, if you're downtrodden, and you've been on a long list of medicines from doctor to doctor and operation to operation, you're nutrient depleted. Okay? Now, you can go spend $1,000 on a specialized test to assess all these nutrients, and that's a good idea for a lot of people who are really desperate. They need the proof, the evidence. I have no problem with that. But I assure you, you all need your vitamins and your minerals. You all do. We all do. That's the way God made us. We can't get around it, okay? I wonder, now somebody needs to study this, if you have your own little organic garden and you're growing your own vegetables, can we pop that nutrient level up by doctoring the soil with the minerals, you know, putting back in fertilizers that replace these? I hope so. But this would be a good argument for home gardening. I know the vegetables I grow taste better than the ones I buy even at the health food store. Okay? But first step is a high quality multiple vitamin and mineral powder. We prefer the powders because it goes into liquid phase very easily. It's more absorbable. Chelated nutrients, chelated minerals, very important. I am specifically thinking of vitamin D right now. The 600, 800, 1,000 units a day is not enough to reverse your deficiencies. The research now tells us that we need between 3,000 and 5,000 units a day to maintain our vitamin D level up in that 70, 80 level where we want it to be, okay? Vitamin D is essential. It's both a hormone and a vitamin. Hormone that has a profound effect on our immune system. If your immune system is depleted, suppressed, how are you going to get rid of these hitchhikers in your gut?
Right.
And on your skin and in your sinuses. And, you got to have the vitamin D.
But, you know, Richard, the current thought is out there in the medical community, it's still against vitamin D. They still don't understand. They still think that the levels of vitamin D, even in a minor supplement, are too high.
They're wrong.
I know.
They're not reading the research.
And, you know, vitamin D and healing.
Yes.
That's a whole nother, I realize that's a different day, but I have a very dear friend whose mother's been struggling with her health for years, and she's has cancer, and she's, you know, had a knee replacement, etc. She's doing well, seemingly. Right. So she comes home from the hospital, she goes into rehab, you know the routine.
Yes. Yep.
So then what do? They took her off every supplement that the daughter had put her on.
That's
everyone.
tragic.
Said vitamin D, oh no, she can't have that.
Oh, well.
And now
I'm so
she's
sorry
starting
to
to
hear
fail
that.
again.
Yes, she
so
will
how
fail.
it was just to
She
get
will
the
fail.
doctors to listen. So, you know, when you take your notes from this education that Richard is putting out for you, take it to your doctor. Say, hey, look, it works.
Well,
you know?
They need to read their own journals.
They do.
And we would see that. And, you know, I understand how difficult it is. I am able to study far more now than ever in practice. I was busy caring for the needs of sick people. I didn't have time to study. Right. It was an 80-hour-a-week job most weeks, 6 months without a day off. That was common. When do you study? You know, you have to have a little mental energy to study, right? Okay. Well, these are the facts. We're deficient in many of our nutrients, and we need to bring that level up if we hope for a resolution to these problems. Next critical nutrient are the omega-3s, DHA, EPA. Omega-3s are very important. They calm inflammation. They support immune function. They're everything. They help to maintain that gut barrier that makes an impermeable barrier to these invading microbes in our intestinal tract, okay? Omega-3s are very important. Next is probiotics. Now, we recommend that you have fermented dairy, your yogurt, basically. We recommend that. But typically in a yogurt, a commercial yogurt of today, there's one organism line. No one has just one germ, one bacteria in their gut. Nobody has that. That's ridiculous to think that one bacteria will correct this whole thing. You need a variety of probiotic bacteria. Have your yogurt. Have a variety of yogurts because they all have their own unique little, probiotic in there. That's a good thing. Variety and a lot of. Outnumber those organisms with good guys. Push the gangsters out of the gut with probiotics. That's the key, okay? Soluble dietary fiber. We want insoluble as well, but we'll get that from our salads because that's what we're having every day now, right? A big salad with a good protein source, olive oil. You know, when you put a little olive oil on that salad, you increase your nutrient absorption up to 90%. Olive oil, okay? Get rid of the fancy, sweet, and cheesy dressings. Olive oil, a little vinegar. For most people, that's what they need most. Dietary soluble fiber helps to wash away toxins from the gut. Okay? It absorbs toxins, pulls them out. This you need. Okay? Glucomannan a very good one for that. Plant-based polyphenol antioxidants. What a mouthful. I'm talking about grapeseed extract, resveratrol, quercetin. The reason you feel bad with chronic yeast and dysbiosis is because you have a huge free radical load in your intestinal tract and throughout your bloodstream. Huge. You're aging by the second. It's basically what occurs to you. Taking these plant-based polyphenolic antioxidants counters that remarkably well, and it will decrease your pain level. How many people have we heard of who have chronic headaches? They get on grapeseed extract and resveratrol, headaches are gone, or much better, tolerable, okay? We hear this all the time. It can happen to you, but you got to get on your acai, your resveratrol, quercetin, turmeric. Choose a couple of these and cycle through them. You'll find the ones that help you the most, the ones you're most tolerant of, the carotenoids, the mangosteen, the goji. The optometrist was talking about goji and its high level of carotenoids for eye health, okay? All right? When we return from these messages, let's talk about the herb rotation cycle. You've been waiting for this. These are the herbs that will correct your bowel flora. We'll be back. For thousands of years, Eastern health practitioners have used mushrooms for a variety of treatments.
And recently, scientists everywhere in the world have turned to mushrooms in search of health-promoting compounds.
These are known as medicinal mushrooms. Among some of the most potent are ABM, maitake, reishi, shiitake, and Cordyceps sinensis.
At Bioinnovations, we've made available 4 of the most powerful mushrooms in one easy-to-use formula. We call it the Mushroom Complex. We also offer the amazing mushroom Cordyceps sinensis in a standalone formula.
Cordyceps helps boost energy, an amazing discovery now used in both Eastern and Western medicine. So take advantage of thousands of years of health knowledge.
Give us a call at 888-442-2120 or go online at bioinnovations.net. Check out the AutoShip program for additional savings.
It's been said that life is not measured by the number of breaths we take, but by the moments that take our breath away. Jesus, while discussing his role as the Good Shepherd, phrased it like this in the Gospel of John: I have come that they may have life and have it to the full. That comes from John 10:10. We can enjoy an abundant life through Christ, a life like that described by President Abraham Lincoln, who said in the end, it's not the years in your life that count, it's the life in your years.
Are you one of the 62 million Americans suffering from gastrointestinal problems? Do you struggle with other chronic conditions? That's why we offer Dr. Becker's Bionutrient Probiotics.
After years of research, we developed a revolutionary probiotic formula with gastrodefense technology. This system protects the good bacteria from stomach acid so the probiotics reach the intestines where they go to work. Additionally, we use live count technology to prolong the shelf life of the probiotics, so there's no need for refrigeration.
Dr. Becker's Bionutrient Probiotics is a powerful combination and one of the most effective formulas available today. And we offer a children's chewable formula too, both at prices you can afford. Order online at bioinnovations.net or call 888-442-2120 and ask about the AutoShip program for additional savings.
We're back, everyone, talking about the pearls for dealing with chronic yeast. Richard, there is a whole variety of herbs that are just fantastic for combating yeast.
Absolutely. Let's go through some of these herbs. There are many of them available to us today, and of course, it's not very good TV to just read a long list to you, but it's important, if you're struggling with this condition, write these down as we go through them. Make a note of these so you have a reference for it. Oil of oregano, whether it's the oil or the gel cap version, oil of oregano is outstanding. One of the nice things about the oil is you can apply it to skin or externally, wherever you want, on your fungal toenails, whatever. You can take it internally, you can put it on the skin. You can also take it as a gel cap. Olive leaf is outstanding. One of the great features of olive leaf is for those with chronic sinus and allergies. But it also works for the intestinal component as well. Mangosteen, I've been very impressed with mangosteen. Mangosteen juice, when accompanied with pericarp, is outstanding for dysentery. That's its cultural use. It's been used in Southeast Asia, Polynesia for hundreds and hundreds and maybe thousands of years for dysentery, infections of the intestinal tract. Well, today in our modern world, we would rely on it more for the dysbiosis, okay? And chronic yeast. It's fantastic for this, okay? Garlic, okay? Garlic has antibacterial properties, antifungal properties. Get a little ringworm. You know how the kids get ringworm? Cut a garlic, rub it on it. Rub it on it twice a day. That ringworm will go away. In the majority of cases, 75, 80% of the cases, that ringworm will go away with just garlic. It's that effective. And of course, we can take it internally. Great antioxidant as well. Royal jelly from the bee, okay? That is another part of our herb rotation cycle. Astragalus, mushroom complex. These would be the maitake, reishi, shiitake, ABM mushrooms. They all living things have molecules in them that they produce to ward off invading agents. In the plant kingdom, you're in competition, right? And so the fungi of the maitake, reishi, shiitake, and ABM, they have substances in them to inhibit the growth of bacteria. This is how penicillin was discovered. Same concept. So these are medicinal agents that we take that act as a natural antibiotic and antifungal, of course. Cordyceps sinensis, another of the medicinal mushrooms. Plain old apple cider vinegar, it has an active culture in it, okay? It helps with your pH, and it helps as a mother tincture probiotic. And it's not too bad on salads. Put a little olive oil with just a little of that apple cider vinegar, you're good to go. Caprylic acid, pas d'arco. Caprylic acid is from coconuts, okay? It's a short chain triglyceride. Fatty acid, excuse me, pas d'arco is a tree that grows in South America that the natives, explorers in South America noticed this tree that would fall in the forest and it would sit there for hundreds of years without decay. That's the reputation, much like the redwood of the Pacific Northwest. Well, it has tannins and other chemical elements in it that the locals use as a medicinal agent to fight infection, pas d'arco. Grapefruit seed extract is another great one for this, chlorophyll. All right, that would be in the yeast defense, a very nice little product that combines several things. Astragalus we mentioned, apple cider we mentioned, malic acid and mastic gum. Okay, that's your list. That's your list. Now, what is the herb rotation cycle? What we're trying to do with the herb rotation cycle is take you through a variety of these anti-yeast herbs and agents, and so that you can find the group that works best for you. Now, how would we use that? The first month of your treatment, for example, we would have oil of oregano gel caps and olive leaf. We'd take those two and put them together, okay? We take those for the entire month. The next month, we'd combine mangosteen and cordyceps, for example, okay? And this is arbitrary. You can put in any one of your list with another together to create your own personalized herb rotation cycle. Maybe the third month is oil of oregano liquid with garlic. Then yeast defense with royal jelly. See, and we go through this until you find your combination. This saves you expensive stool cultures, which you can get and be very helpful, show you susceptibility. Not everyone has access to $1,000 blood tests and stool tests. I understand that. In the perfect world, we'd all get those tests so we know exactly what we're doing. But for many of us, that is not available. Or you live in a town that doesn't have an alternative-minded practicing physician. What are you to do? Just start traveling until you find somebody? You know that's not going to work. So this is a plan that you can put into use that is safe for you to do. The herb rotation cycle. Find the combination that works best for you. Stay on it until your health improves. Okay? Increase the dose of the herbs higher than what's on the bottle. Okay? As long as you're not reacting to it, you'll be fine with it. These are generally well-tolerated herbal supplements that we can at least double the dose with no problem. No problem. I do it all the time with patients with no problem. If your condition digresses, return back to the basics. If you have to go on an antibiotic, go back to the basic first step approaches. Okay? All right? That's it, folks. You may be on this the rest of your life. You may be on it for 2 months. only you can tell with your progress. But please, accept these changes as an inevitable part of your recovery, because that's been my experience. That's what it takes. Okay.
Right. That's great, Richard. Well,
Yeah.
I tell you what, we have a break coming up. Let's go ahead and go to our commercial break and get those important messages taken care of. Then when we come back, let's talk to one of you.
There are thousands of fungal species, and at least 200 of them have been found to cause human diseases.
Fungal infections are common, so what can we do to protect ourselves?
One solution is oregano, a natural alternative. Oregano fights problems created by fungus and yeast overgrowth, and it improves many other health conditions.
At BioInnovations, we offer oregano in gel caps and liquid extract.
Yeast and fungal disorders can improve.
So take charge of your health by choosing a natural alternative such as oregano gel caps or oil of oregano liquid extract. Give us a call at 888-442-2120 or go online at bioinnovations.net. Check out our AutoShip program for additional savings.
Could your drink selection be the key to maintaining a trim waistline? I'm Dr. Richard Becker with Your Health at a Glance. Millions of Americans are eating healthy to lose weight, yet they are disappointed by poor results. What could be causing this? Many are done in by their drink. While most know sodas aren't the healthiest beverage, most do not know how much sugar they contain. A 12-ounce cola contains 40 grams of sugar, and drinking just one a day increases the risk of obesity by 60%. Sport drinks aren't much better, as a typical 32-ounce hydrator contains 50 grams of sugar or more. While fruit juice is healthier, 8 ounces of orange juice contains 22 grams of sugar, and if overconsumed, may also contribute to your expanding waistline. By drinking tea or coffee, it is easy to control your sugar intake, but the healthiest drink of all is pure, calorie-free water. I'm Dr. Richard Becker with Your Health at a Glance. Every day, about 200 million Americans do not get enough of a key essential mineral.
That mineral is magnesium. The typical American diet does not supply enough.
And magnesium is so important. It protects bones and helps more than 300 different enzymes in the human body perform efficiently.
That's why BioInnovations offers chelated magnesium capsules for oral use and topical magnesium gel to be applied to the skin. That's 2 forms of magnesium to meet your daily needs.
Scientific evidence points to chelation as the best method of vitamin and mineral formulation.
So call 888-442-2120 or go online at bioinnovations.net to place your order. Ask about the AutoShip program for additional savings.
Because chances are you are one of the 200 million Americans who need more magnesium every day.
Your Health is brought to you by BioInnovations, trusted products for your health and well-being.
We're back, everyone. Let's go to Tennessee and welcome Cheryl to the show. Hi, Cheryl.
Hi.
Hi, Cheryl. How are you?
Good, thank you.
How can we help you, dear?
What it is, for the past 2 or 3 years, I keep struggling with infections, and when I go to my doctor, she'll tell me, oh, it's just bacteria, it's really common, they'll put me on an antibiotic. It may get rid of it, sometimes it doesn't, and I'll have to call her back, she'll have to put me on a stronger antibiotic.
Right.
And I'll ask them, do you think maybe it's my diet or whatever, and she'll just say, oh, it's just really common.
Yeah, where are these infections, if I may ask, Cheryl? Are urinary tract, respiratory tract, intestinal tract? Pardon me?
I'm sorry, you were naming?
Yeah, where's the location of infection? Where are you dealing with these?
Well, I have a lot of sinus infections, and I have a lot of urinary tract infections.
Okay. You know, urinary tract infections, 98% of all bladder, kidney infections are due to colonic bacteria, E. coli, Klebsiella, that type. They're the gram negatives that live in the gut. And they can either go through the bloodstream or they can migrate on the surface and gain access, okay? When you take an antibiotic, we have learned that in many people, it is the norm to never return to normal gut flora after an antibiotic, okay? And as we know, the pathogens are becoming resistant to antibiotics, but our bowel flora is not, okay? And so what is happening in this scenario is you have an overgrowth of abnormal bacteria. What have we been talking about? Dysbiosis. You define that. The antibiotics are not getting rid of those because you can't. There's too many of in the gut to do that. And they proliferate, migrate back, and your immune system has been suppressed from all of this. So the basic thing is you're a poster child for this talk. You need the herb rotation cycle. You need the probiotics. You need a high-potency multiple vitamin and mineral. It is common to have infection after infection with the zinc deficiency. It is common to have infection after infection with a vitamin D deficiency, with a vitamin C deficiency. And I think we're going to learn that these abnormal bacteria not only do not make vitamins for us, they eat up your supply. Okay? So we have to do the whole thing to you. Get the bacteria back into the gut, get them back where they need to be, and the immune suppression will be relieved, and we'll make this a thing of the past. Now, just as a matter of completeness, Cheryl, have the doctors done a culture of the urine or of the sputum or anything to make sure they're treating the right organism? Have they done a culture?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so they're identifying and using the right bacteria. Well, that confirms to me this is what you need. I want to send you Foundations for Healing. That's our book. It discusses this very problem. Follow the healing diet for at least a couple weeks. You can advance quicker if you're doing better progress and willing to go forward. Let's counter the immune suppression with cordyceps sinensis, medicinal mushroom. Let's put you on mangosteen. This is an outstanding juice that will help eliminate these bad bacteria in your gut and yeast. Probiotics. Eat a lot of yogurt and kefir and cottage cheese, this type of thing, if you're tolerant, but take these probiotics as well. Grapeseed extract. People commonly have headaches with this scenario. Grapeseed extract we will use as a powerful antioxidant to counter that free radical load. A sinus cleanser from Dr. Quillen to help wash away this offensive agent. You need a good multiple vitamin. I want to give you the berry blend, a little fish oil, magnesium gel, and noni juice. Now, I know that's a lot. That's a lot. But I promise you, you stick with this program, you're going to find that these infections are a thing of the past. Okay? Thank you so much for your call, Cheryl. Well, folks, I think we got the point today. We're going to have to make some changes or we're going to be stuck in poor health. Treating your chronic yeast and intestinal dysbiosis is absolutely doable. It will make a huge difference in the way you feel every day. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.